The 9 personality types. Type 1 Perfectionist, Idealist, follower of principles. Ethical and conscientious, these people have a very clear sense of what is right or wrong. They are teachers and crusaders who always struggle to make things better, but are afraid of making mistakes. Organized, orderly and meticulous, they try to live up to high standards, but they can slide into criticism and perfectionism. Problems, impatience and repressed anger. At work, likes guidelines and precise schedules. Breaches in the system are traumatic. Practical, it transforms abstract methods into a step-by-step procedure. Likes schedule and responsibilities. Follow the details and not the production. Worries about getting the job done right. You are afraid to take chances and make mistakes. Leadership style, the guiding idea is quality control. Quality and control go hand in hand. Supervision is a key point. Leadership is carried out by initiating a perfect plan and stipulating responsibility for each sector. Take pleasure in the job well done. They like to work alone, for hours on end, with lists, plans and diagrams, scanning alternatives, assigning responsibilities and deciding what to do if problems arise. It is highly effective when planning and structure is required, but it is ineffective for quick decisions or dealing with conflicting new information. Conflicts, they feel safe with guidelines and strict accountability, and this management style will permeate the entire company. People feel controlled and stifled in their creativity by meetings and reports like to create rules that tie people to the system. Type 2 Helpful, comprehensive, focused on the interpersonal side. These people are friendly, generous, empathetic, sincere and affectionate, but they can also be sentimental and flattering, striving to please others at any price. Their greatest motivation is to get close to others and, for this reason, they often try to become necessary. Problems, difficulties in taking care of themselves and recognizing their own needs. At work, shapes your own identity from authorities capable of offering support. The right-arm man. The secretary who knows the secrets. The brown eminence. Controls interactions in the office. The information channel, the party coordinator, the one who knows when invitations are sent. Leadership style, they are efficient leaders, although many of them position themselves as the brown eminence, as the power behind the throne. Sensitive to the climate in the professional environment, they give shape to the enthusiasm and personal charm that they want to see in the workplace. It is generous in relation to the quality of life in the workspace. Emphasizes identifying with the customer's need and customer satisfaction, rather than fighting with competitors. Conflicts, they are temperamental. They feed on recognition and react with irritation and rejection to any hint of disrespect. Problems, people can leak into the work environment. A fight at home is brought to work. Type 3 Director, Adaptable, driven by success. These people are self-assured, attractive and charming. Ambitious, competent and always ready to act, they can let themselves be guided a lot by status and the idea of progressing in life. They are often concerned with their own image and what others think about them. Problems, excessive passions for work and competitiveness. At work, it presupposes competence itself. Confuses the true self and the role at work. I am what I do. The priority is to be efficient and save time, even if it means less perfection. Use shortcuts. They do several things at the same time, details later. Machine productivity and expect others to work the same way. Leadership style, leadership is the preferred position. It focuses on expanding objectives. The objective is what matters, they will negotiate aggressively, they will go to the limit and beyond. They are not usually original, creative or innovative thinkers. They prefer to use known solutions from successful projects in the past and apply them to a new project. They feed on practical results. Quality control is often sacrificed. Attention goes to quantity over quality. Conflicts, they expect everyone to be equally motivated and are furious when projects are interrupted. The goal is what matters, and they are not very sensitive to the process along the way. Type 4 Romantic, introspective, these people are attentive to themselves, sensitive, calm and reserved. They are emotionally honest and are not afraid to reveal themselves as they are, but they are subject to mood fluctuations and inhibitions. They can be disdainful and act as if they are not subject to the same laws as others, while avoiding people because they feel vulnerable and full of defects. Problems, comfort and self-pity. At work, you want a job that distinguishes you. A job that requires creativity and even genius, a touch of eccentricity and personal presentation, an original style in professional life. You are attracted to emotionally intense lines of work, therapists of people in crisis, animal rights activity. Leadership style, they lead with vigor and with a highly competitive tone in the growth phase, when there is something to prove. They are more efficient in a risky situation than in maintaining an operation. You will feel overwhelmed by the details. They take the lead when the heart is involved in the project and lose interest when the challenge is met. Conflicts. It is common for people to feel deficient in their presence. At first, you look attractive, but you were suddenly fired. Conflicts are due to the seduction-style rejection of the relationship. Type 5 Observer, concentrated, cerebral. These people are alert, insightful and curious. They are able to abstract from everything and concentrate on cultivating the most complex ideas and gifts. Independent and innovative. When excessively dedicated to their thoughts and imaginary constructs, they can be distant and irritable. Problems: isolation, eccentricity, and nihilism. At work, you need to know beforehand in order to be prepared. Strictly avoids conflicts. Build a wall of memos and secretaries to protect against emotional scenes. He works hard for the benefits of privacy and the freedom to pursue personal interests and to acquire autonomy. Health rhythm is an extensive office, with desks, without partitions and with colleagues who go out to lunch and talk about intimate relationships. He likes to be alone with his own projects and considers a space and phone reserved as true incentives to work. Leadership style. They focus on ideas and a personal presentation that makes these ideas welcome and care little about interpersonal communication. Once the project is established, they are quick to delegate. To protect privacy, they prefer to establish specific contacts for confidential meetings with managers rather than having to deal with all of them at the same time. Conflicts, lack of dialogue and emotional distance, as if they were not present. Unable to deal with the conflict and with few defenses against public confrontation, observers isolate themselves, reflect and make decisions alone. Type 6 Questioner, dedicated, who values security. These people are hardworking, responsible, and trustworthy, but they can be defensive, evasive, and very anxious, stressing only from complaining about stress. They are usually indecisive and cautious, but can be reactive, challenging and rebellious. Problems: insecurity and mistrust. At work, has great powers of analysis. Attention is focused on questioning and examining the opposite position. Doubt and a suspicion of the obvious developmental clarity. It overestimates the power of authority. Action paralysis, finds it difficult to continue to move forward effectively when success begins to materialize, and finds it difficult to concentrate when there is no opposition. You feel in danger in the position of successful sight. Leadership style. It is important that all negative expectations are aired before attention is turned to positive ones. They focus on system failures and shortcomings. There are delays in decision-making. The leader wants certainty before going ahead. It would help if he could get honest feedback directly after a happy conclusion. Conflicts, the questioner's eternal doubt. Yes, but, have you already considered, and the other side? Already took into consideration. Type 7 Enthusiast, productive, always busy. These people are versatile, spontaneous and optimistic. Practices, playful and jovial, can also be dispersed and not very disciplined, tending to assume more responsibilities than they could handle. Their eternal search for new emotions can lead them to not finish what they started, exhausted by the excess of activity. Problems: superficiality and impulsivity. At work, he prefers ideas and theory to execution. It has excellent performance in projects without defined limits and that do not degenerate in a routine. They tend to be less efficient in routine and predictable environments. It is very pleasant to work with them. They are optimistic, especially in the early and exciting stages of a project. Leadership style. Its strength lies in its ability to correlate different types of information, transforming them into a coherent scheme. They are born optimists. They are great in the early stages of a project. They prefer to plan rather than implement a project. Usually, you have several projects underway at the same time or are active in various aspects of a single project. Decision-making can be chaotic. Leadership will be more efficient at the planning stage and will do well to delegate immediately after the plan is launched. Easily bored, they can change their opinion or go off on a tangent. Undefined or conflicting instructions and lack of supervision can occur. A crisis occurs, and the boss goes on vacation. Conflicts. They have a tendency to avoid conflicts and mainly to reject criticisms that can tarnish their self-image. The failures and errors of a project are rationalized as good. And you have a hard time dealing with the details and not taking responsibility for it. Type 8 Challenging, strong and domineering. These people are sure of themselves, firm and assertive. Protective, talented and determined, they can also be proud and domineering. Because they think they need to control the environment in which they live, these people are contentious and intimidating. Problem: difficulty sharing intimacy. At work, controls the hierarchy of the workplace. It requires being fully informed. Changes in details can encourage concern about being manipulated. It will take the lead, Attention is focused on those who are strong competitors for control of the project, the firm, the loyalty of the staff. Respects honest leadership. They are dedicated competitors and work until they drop when they have an interest. They embrace difficulties instead of avoiding them. Leadership style. They are direct and objective. Highly requested as initiators or pioneers, they are highly valued during the advancement phase of operations. They prefer to centralize power rather than delegate. When they delegate, they keep an eagle eye on the results, controlling everything. Perhaps they are less efficient leaders during a period of consolidation. They need constant reports and information. They cannot tolerate being vulnerable and fear being harmed and passed over. Conflicts. They take action when they feel threatened. They are often seen as case creators when they are simply spokespersons for other people's claims. Type 9 Pacifist. Uncomplicated, easy to live with. These people are constant, trusting and receptive. They have a good temper, a good heart, and are easy to be content, but they can go too far in their willingness to give in to keep the peace. In their eagerness to avoid conflict, they can exaggerate complacency, minimizing any obstacles that arise. Problems, passivity and stubbornness. At work, relax when there is no friction. It can become automaton and produce a lot. Forget your own interests while following a routine. It is energized by a productive routine and the enthusiasm of others in the project. He doesn't like to make decisions. Obey the rules, reduces spontaneous decisions to a minimum. Cautious about taking risks, he feels safer on familiar routes. Defer decisions by collecting information, deferring essential things. Leadership style. They may be indecisive between different points of view and perhaps examine the various alternatives exhaustively, thus missing the opportunity to exercise active and accurate leadership. The goals are not clear and specific, but global. They are undecided in the specifications of how a plan should be carried out. They do not act quickly and, once a viable solution is working, they tend to want to repeat the known. Conflicts. Typically, there are two phases to the conflict. The first is marked by ambivalence and the second, by the stubbornness in not communicating. In the first phase, they take too long to examine the different sides of the issue. While they abhor conflicts, pacifists inadvertently create them by withholding information during the decision-making phase. The second phase of conflict shows entrenched pacifist, using passive-aggressive tactics, slowing down, executing only the minimum requirements in the work script. In short, congratulations on reaching the end of this audiobook. You have learned only 9 different types of personalities and you will be surprised at how people with different personalities will respond to your ability to communicate with them. We all belong to at least one of these groups, although we are all unique. There is nothing wrong with any of the personalities discussed here, only the beauty of differences and diversity. The differences are powerful, if you notice. If you put the right people with the right personalities to work together, they will produce amazing results. On the other hand, if you put the wrong people with the wrong personalities to work together, they are going to have nightmares.